Okay, do not adjust your TV set. Do not adjust your YouTube. We are here in the basement once again doing the TD report. I'm your host David Combs.
I'm Tony Kennedy.
What's up, Mr. Kennedy?
I'm
How you
good, man.
feeling today?
Oh, I'm real good, man. I'm feeling real good. We
You
back
got
here
some football going on now.
comfortable and
college coming up soon.
yes, indeed, this weekend.
Man, your boy Vegas Robinson was talking mad stuff on Twitter today, talking about the recruiting. It looks like some 757 recruits got out of the state.
Oh, that happens all the time now until UVA and Virginia Tech up their game.
They need to put a daggone fence around the state.
They sure do.
Recruits is leaking out.
Look, man, what state has? I mean, they have the hills and the mountains and the Blacksburg area in the Southwest. They have
beach.
Richmond. They got the beach.
And then
They
you
got
got
Northern
Northern
Virginia.
Virginia.
I mean, come on
There's
now.
players coming out of there, man.
Players
Both of
coming,
those
big time
coaches,
players coming out
They need
of
to have a
state
summit.
Virginia.
They need to have a summit. Talk
Yeah,
about it.
they need to have a summit.
Okay, I just saw that on Twitter before we came on. So listen, everybody, thanks for joining us here. We're on YouTube Live today. Definitely hit the subscribe button for us. I'm trying to get our subscriptions up over the next week. So if you know anybody that wants to talk sports, that likes to listen to sports, hear a couple of local guys that know their sports, definitely have them like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it.
I'm in the monitoring comments too.
Yeah, we've got Cody. Cody is back today.
Yes,
Can't do the
indeed.
show without Cody or Heather because someone's got to look at us and help us out behind the boards and let us know when I'm talking too loud or I'm talking too much. But definitely mash down that subscribe button. Cody's going to be looking at comments today. So Tony, we got a lot to talk about. We started a little late today, but let's talk about what's up front here. The ACC Big 12 Pac-12 Alliance. You've been doing some research on this.
Yeah, where I'm getting at is, man, they are coming. When I say they're coming, when you look at the TV markets, folks, is what dictates how much money you can make. So when you look at the TV markets and
like
you look
money.
at how they do things, the TV markets that they're going with, it's like 28 of the top 30 are going to fall between those three conferences.
So if you're talking about the ACC, Big 12, and Pac-12, we're talking Washington, D.C.,
Yep,
Dallas,
yep.
Atlanta.
Well, no, you're talking about Los Angeles,
Oh, at the Pac-12. Okay.
Los Angeles, Phoenix, Denver, Chicago,
Right.
D.C., Baltimore, Philly, Pittsburgh, New York,
Atlanta, because of Georgia Tech.
Atlanta, Boston, Miami.
Wow.
So when you start talking about all of the big markets, Minneapolis,
Okay. That's a good size market.
yeah, that's
okay.
a good sized market. When you start talking
Well, you're
about
talking Chicago. Well, you're talking Chicago and L.A. Those
LA.
are the two big. Those are the big
the
prizes.
two biggest are L.A. and New York,
L.A. and New York.
but they got them.
Well, does the ACC really bring you New York,
No, it does have to. It's the Big East with
the
Rutgers.
Big East?
It's
Oh,
the
for
Big,
the
it's
Big
the Big
12.
Ten.
Okay,
Yeah, the Big
yeah.
Ten. They're in the Big Ten.
It's
So remember, it's the
interesting.
Big
I
Ten,
never thought about it. like that.
Pac-12, ACC.
Okay.
So when you add
So
all
you
those
stretching
together,
from coast to coast. You literally going from
you're
coast
going
to
from
coast.
coast to coast. And the only thing you're not doing is you're not dealing with the Civil War people.
Well, you're not picking up. You're not going to pick up.
The only state that's in with us, that's not with the SEC, is Virginia.
Okay.
When
Makes
you look
sense.
at it, just imagine a map, and imagine a map of the old Civil War,
Okay.
and then add the rest of the states who weren't states then; they were territories,
Okay.
and look at it. That map,
Texas was a territory.
All
Kansas
that
was a
map is-
territory.
that- all that-
Missouri was a territory.
all that goes to
Okay.
SEC, but everything around it,
Mm-hmm.
from when you go from New Mexico all the way over California up to Washington, all the way through the Dakotas, through Minnesota, back down through the semi-Midwest, which is Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, PA, New Jersey, all the way back
Okay.
up to the east, then bring back down that coast, coming down from Virginia to North Carolina to South Carolina to Georgia to Florida.
Okay. Can this alliance? It's a proposed alliance.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Okay. This alliance, as constructed,
Yep.
how does that match up with the SEC?
It dominates the SEC.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on, Tony. Hold on. You about to make the phone lines blow up.
It dominates the SEC.
It dominates the SEC.
It dominates the SEC because what is driven is the TV money is what's driven. That is why the NFL had to get back into LA. They were the only league that had no teams in LA for 25 years. You remember? They realized they were losing about $1 billion a year by not being in the LA market.
More like $2 billion.
And so
they had to do it. They had to do it.
You know how it was so lucrative? They ended up putting 2 teams there.
They put 2 teams there, and
so they know they had to have a thing every week.
State-of-the-art stadium.
State-of-the-art stadium.
NFL label.
Yep.
And that allows you to do everything marketing-wise out of Los Angeles.
Out of Los Angeles.
Beer commercials, Viagra commercials,
movie theaters, the movie sets, the all that's there.
Well, SoFi is a direct competitor with Rocket Mortgage. So you're doing that. SoFi Stadium, that was a great tie-in for them to do that, on the financial side.
Here's what no one's talking about. What it makes it big, if we have a Cody Bennett who goes to University of Maryland. Why is Cody Bennett even big in Seattle, Washington, or Los Angeles, California?
Through the alliance.
Now through the alliance, Cody Bennett's name is just not on the East Coast.
It's going to
be pumped all around the country.
Wow, that's pretty big. I mean, basically, it's Paul Feinbaum's.
Okay.
Paul Feinbaum's been talking about it, and he was basically saying he considered this a pathetic move by the ACC and the Big 12 to align like that.
Well, the Big 12 has nothing to do with it. It's the Pac-12,
Mm-hmm.
Big 10.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they have the oldest alliance in history because of the Rose Bowl.
Right.
Now you add the ACC in there. So imagine you have 12 teams in the Pac-12, 12 in the Big 10, and 14 in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
what does that come up to?
What's that, 36?
36 teams. You add 4 teams. Here's the 4 teams you want to add. If you want to knock them out the box.
Okay.
You add Houston, you add Memphis, you add Temple, and you add West Virginia. That will knock them out of the box.
Well, you're never going to pry West Virginia away from the Big 12.
Big 12 is done.
You think so?
Because
Oklahoma's leaving.
Yeah,
Oklahoma's leaving. So Oklahoma and Texas.
So if you got 40 teams,
okay,
you break it down in 20 and 20.
Okay.
Almost like the NFL, 16-16. Am I right, Cody? 16-16. You break it down 20-20.
Break it down into conferences.
So you have 4 divisions. You have 10 divisions of 4 teams. 5 on each side, 5 on this side. Okay. So you play your 3 in your division. Let's say, here's one division. It's Maryland, Temple, Virginia, Virginia Tech. Okay, no. Because the Duke is forcing.
It would be Duke.
You already know.
Yeah.
Duke.
North Carolina.
NC State. And Wake Forest. See, so listen, when we start matching this up, just listen to me. Rutgers.
Okay.
Boston College. Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
Pitt.
It's not bad.
Then you got your Penn State, your West Virginia, your Louisvilles, your Kansas, or whatever you want to do. Then we get that division that we all would love in the Midwest. Indiana,
you're realigning
Purdue,
you're realigning
Notre Dame.
Okay.
So now when you start
realigning everything,
you're realigning everything, but you're regionally keeping the matchup. So now I play if my division with Maryland and Virginia Tech and Temple. If we play Penn State's division, we play them. So you play that 4 plus your 3, that's 7. You add 2 more games, it's 14. So now you play crossover. Yeah. You play at least 4 of those crossover games, so it's 4 more divisions, right?
Right.
So you play 1 team from each division. 4. So that gives you. We can start adding it up.
So if you're an ACC and you've got your Atlantic Division and your Coastal Division,
yep.
How does that impact it? For example,
all that's gone.
That would be gone. Okay.
All that's
but
gone.
You would
Then
keep the array, but you would keep some of those. UVA wouldn't lose their Virginia Tech game.
no, because that's why they're in the same division.
They would be in the same division anyway.
Yeah.
They were playing each other. They
They
were playing each other anyway. Right.
Exactly.
But also, if you're a Carla Williams at UVA and you're the athletic director and you're looking at my travel cost now for my little conference, my division, it goes down to zero. It's nothing. It's if you're Virginia and all you're traveling to or it's coming to you is Virginia Tech,
Temple,
Maryland,
Penn State.
That's nothing.
Syracuse, that's nothing.
It's-
When you talk all that,
you get on a plane
But-
you get on a plane for Syracuse and Penn State.
but then you start to regionalize it back. The Virginia Tech teams go down to the Carolina teams.
Okay.
The Carolina teams can go down to the Georgia Techs.
Intersectional.
And
so
they can
those
go
are
down to the
intersectional. They
Clemson
just
games.
kind of next to each other.
Yeah, you can
Those-
just
yeah, those
regionalize
intersect-
everything that you're doing.
Well, that begs the question: are you going to do this for basketball too?
Oh yes. Do you understand what's going to be at the beginning of the year for basketball? For
Well,
all
the
those
challenge.
little
Well, the challenge.
Okay, so Feinbaum, tell me this. The Atlanta market has Auburn, Georgia, and Georgia Tech. So Feinbaum, tell me this.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about basketball?
Right.
You know what I'm gonna set up for my preseason tournament? I'm gonna give me UCLA, Indiana, North Carolina, and Kansas.
A Blue Bloods tournament.
Get out of here.
That's going to make money.
Get out of here.
That's going to make money. That's not only going to make money, it's going to give NBA GMs and NBA scouts a freaking hard on trying to get at those recruits.
We're going to knock them out the box. See, all this is caused because of the SEC's arrogance. When they thought that they had everything in the thing, when they went and got Texas and they went and got Oklahoma,
Well,
it sounded good,
it sounded good on paper.
but that was checkers.
Mm-hmm.
The chess move would have been had they added the ACC and said, "Hey, let's
Work it out.
work it out." They didn't do that.
So the SEC, they're going to be isolated. That's really what this is doing. You just basically built a big bridge or a big wall around the SEC.
You gave them two top TV markets.
The recruits are not going to leave the SEC.
Name the two top TV markets they got.
What do they have? What, Atlanta?
They got pieces of Atlanta.
Pieces
They
of
got
Atlanta.
New Orleans, and they got Dallas.
That's not enough.
No, it ain't enough.
Not to go up against New York, Los
Miami,
Angeles, and Chicago. or
Miami, Boston.
Now, let's talk about that. This helps Miami. Helps University of Miami football.
What?
Helps them.
It-
It helps the U immensely.
Oh, it's going to knock.
Michael Irvin and all them is partying.
It's going to knock a little bit down from that USF and UCF.
It'll hurt UCF, USF, but it's definitely going to hurt University of Florida. They're pinned down. They're pinned over there. Look where Gainesville is.
It's kind of bent.
It's pinned. It's pinned
With
over
Jacksonville
it's
right
pinned
there.
over there with Jacksonville. Jacksonville is not a major market.
Mm-mm.
It's never going to be a major market.
Never.
Okay, compared to Atlanta,
Nope.
compared to New Orleans.
Nope.
Okay, so if you're the University of Miami, and hey man, rest in peace, Howard Schellenberger. Howard Schellenberger is probably smiling today.
Yes,
Great
he is.
Miami coach. Jimmy Johnson, former coach at the University of Miami, is probably smiling today.
Yes, he
because
is.
if we go back to that ESPN 30 for 30, they talked about making that half of the state of Miami.
Yes.
They wanted that whole chunk, not just Miami-Dade. They wanted to put a fence around that whole area in Florida and say these recruits are
You know
ours.
what's going to happen in the state of Florida?
What?
It's going to go halfway down. It's going to be Miami.
Correct.
The other half is going to be Florida State. And then Clemson is just going to dominate all that
And
area in between.
Clemson's already got everything from its campus in South Carolina all the way down through Georgia. All right? The only way that Georgia's getting recruits is they're getting the second level of what Clemson wants to take first.
Guess what? Georgia Tech is going to knock them out the box.
How do you think?
Because that Atlanta market is Georgia Tech.
It is. Metro Atlanta is
Metro
pretty
Atlanta.
much. But
And see,
Georgia
and
Tech
to
has
the
always had the
west-
problems with their academics
but-
and keeps kids out.
But to the west is Auburn.
Yes.
to the northeast is Georgia.
Right.
Okay. When you're in a big market like this where you're going to be on LA TV, New York TV, Chicago TV,
Right.
dog, for your brand,
Yeah.
and we now see this is where the NIL comes in. So a company is not going to give you big NIL deals if I'm only in small markets.
But if you're an Alabama recruit, you're going to Alabama. All those national championships. Nick Saban is the coach.
But that's fine. But see, here's what we're talking
They all
about.
can't. You're right. They all can't go to Alabama.
They all can't go to Alabama. And then what we're talking about here, what we're talking about is new wave stuff. We have to get out of the old way of thinking. Cody Bennett, if they come to Cody and say, Cody, you're the #1 quarterback in the country. Alabama loves you. But the NIL deals are telling you, Cody, if you go to University of Maryland, you have 20 major markets. So that means, i.e., when I go to my investor, I can give you another $200,000 in NIL versus being at Alabama. Well, they're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Maryland because I can get another $200,000 on my NIL deal because my NIL deal is relevant in Seattle, it's relevant in LA, it's relevant in Phoenix, Boston.
See, I'm thinking a place like Los Angeles. I'm thinking that this can really help a USC or a UCLA.
Oh, well, the USC and UCLA is going to be fine.
They're going to be fine regardless.
Because they're in a major market. But what makes them even better is now they get to add another market in New York.
Wow.
Because Rutgers gets to come out and play UCLA.
Rutgers would come out to play UCLA.
Yes.
Is that a game that's a saleable commodity?
It doesn't matter. It's saleable because they are on the market. That's their market. So people right now are so in tune in football. It's where the market is. The market in New York makes so much money.
Yes.
They're going to turn that TV on. Boom. It's so-and-so. They're going out to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA.
How does this impact the cable networks? ACC cable,
Oh my
the
goodness.
ACC
You know how much
channel,
money
the
they
Big
about
Ten
to make?
channel.
They about to make a whole. So it impacts this. The ACC is only on the East Coast, right?
Right.
So now you open up the whole West Coast. You open up the whole Midwest.
So if you run a channel, if you're running a channel or you're running a
The
network, you run
Alliance
a
Network.
the Alliance Network.
Yeah.
You run the Alliance Network, you could literally be on the West Coast for a UVA Virginia Tech game at 1 p.m. Eastern. You on at 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
You're on at 10 in the morning.
You can be on.
Football.
You can be on 10 in the morning to 1 at night, 12 at night,
Damn. Okay.
because of the time
The
zone.
amount of programming that you would have for football
It's
wow.
exactly like
And the best
NFL.
part about, and as Cody said from offset, the NFL does nothing on Saturday
Nothing.
until playoff time.
Nothing. But here's what's going to happen.
Because the NFL, like you had said on the last show, the NFL took Sunday.
They took Sunday. They took the church day away.
They took that.
But here's what's going to
High
happen.
school's on Friday night. College football on Saturday.
This league is going to be so big that in certain areas where the high school football is not really big, they're going to come in and take that Friday night market all the way away.
Wow.
They're going to take it away. They're going to listen.
But
You're going to be Thursday. Thursday's NFL. Leave them alone.
Thursday's
They're
NFL.
going to let the NFL have that. But here's what they're going to do. They're going to take the Friday market. They're going to take all day Saturday market.
Yep.
All day.
College.
2 days. They're going to take it all the way, and that's how they're going to run things. And then when they really get really big and they know they got a team, they got to go to West Coast and they got a bye week, they're going to start putting and dabbling in on some of these Monday games.
Wow.
Monday night games.
Well, they
Why
gotta
not?
compensate
Well-
for what they're losing in the NIL.
Well, the Monday night product for the NFL has eroded
It's
in
eroded.
terms of what it used to be for men of a certain age.
Yeah.
Men of a certain age, that would be us. Monday Night Football was it. It was it. You would come to school, you'd be talking about it at the bus stop, getting on the bus, or what was going to happen, especially if it was a Monday night Dallas and Redskins or something, or Dallas or Cowboy, Redskins Giants. Redskins Eagles on Monday night.
Yeah.
Joe Gibbs and Buddy Ryan. That was some fun stuff.
That Jones
That is really gone.
That's gone.
The only way the NFL can really do that is to put marquee matchups on Monday nights, and
all that stuff is gone.
they aren't necessarily able to do it. You literally are going to have to put on Cowboys Redskins on Monday nights to get Monday to pop. I mean, to get it to I'm just saying, you don't just need a marquee matchup. You need a rivalry. You need something. Ravens Steelers has got to be.
But here's what's going to happen: the NFL is going to come to this alliance, and they're going to come with some kind of agreement. They will go Thursday night because they're going to have to. They got too many teams. They're going to go Thursday.
Well,
they're going to go Friday.
They have the games on the schedule.
They're going to go Saturday. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when those ratings start to pop, and they got all those markets in the control, they're going to be able to dictate to the NCAA what they want to do.
Okay.
They're going to make the NCAA obsolete.
Which begs which was going to be the next thing. Mm-hmm. What do we need an NCAA for?
You won't need them.
Do we really need one?
We don't.
Now, schools have been talking about, the SEC schools, especially the big ones, the powerful ones, have been talking about pulling away from the NCAA for years and never been able to do it. Because they didn't have enough. They didn't have 30 other teams, 40 other teams that were going to do it.
The selfish Eastern Conference is what I call them, because they were selfish. Mm-hmm. They thought they knew best. Mm-hmm. And when you listen, I worked at a bowl. Those who control the TV market control the money.
Correct. Right.
You control the TV markets.
They control the TV market. You control the advertisers control you. If they tell you, "Hey Tony, these are the game. This is the matchup we want." ACC number 3 versus,
listen, I'm not knocking the SEC. Gonna have some big games at the Florida, Georgia, the Alabama, Auburn, and they're gonna have that.
Right.
But that's gonna be secondary compared to the Alliance.
You think the Alliance will have enough games, enough matchups to rival the SEC?
You tell me a Penn State USC out at SoFi Stadium.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
I mean,
no, it does. It sounds lovely.
Even you got a Virginia Tech Oregon out in Autzen Stadium.
Wow, that'd be fun to watch. I'd watch that.
Okay. Wisconsin,
but that's got to be a Saturday afternoon or a night game.
Wisconsin, UW out in Seattle, playing at the Seattle Seahawks Stadium.
Let's talk about the team that dips its toe in the ACC but really wants to be in the Big Ten. Let's talk about Notre Dame. Notre Dame has these regional matchups or these intersectional matchups that have been around since the 1930s. They want that. They do not want to lose the USC game as far as on their schedule. They want that on their schedule because that has helped them with recruiting for generations.
Part of your 2 games or 2 to 3 games that you have to play. Notre Dame could be in this. Remember, Notre Dame only plays Big Ten. Mm-hmm. They only play ACC.
They play a partial ACC schedule.
And they play Pac-12.
And they play Pac-12.
So who they play? Stanford.
Yep.
USC.
Mm-hmm.
Navy.
Yep.
Who's the other team they play? There's Stanford,
Michigan.
USC. They may play Michigan or Michigan State. Or
the Michigan
Purdue
rivalry might have gone
them.
away for a little while, but they're bringing it back.
But it's only all those 3 conferences. They rarely go down and play the SEC.
Now let me talk about something that's, as we hear on the TD report, David Combs and Tony Kennedy literally throwing around some great ideas about the Alliance. Let's talk about a local team that people do care about. You've got Pat Ewing at Georgetown now. Georgetown doesn't play big-time football, but Syracuse does. They lost to Syracuse. They're going to lose the Syracuse rivalry, but they want to have that. How does that impact?
In basketball, because it's easier to do that, you will have these preseason tournaments.
You've got to bring that rivalry back.
You can do listen.
Because the old school Big East, the way that we remember it, Syracuse, St. John's, Georgetown, Seton Hall, it's not the same.
I can put them in the preseason thing at the Verizon Center.
Oh, if you could get Georgetown, Syracuse at Verizon or the Carrier Dome, I don't care.
I mean, you basketball, you play all those games.
Pat Ewing coaching.
The big thing is the football and all the other sports that tie in regionally, so they don't have to travel so much. So in other words, if I'm Virginia Tech, because I'm going to midpoint it.
Okay.
If the furthest I'm going is up is to Boston College or Syracuse, and the furthest south I'm going is to Clemson. Most
Miami.
of the time, or Miami, I mean, that's nothing.
Well, the middle of your league is actually Baltimore.
Yeah,
your geographical center is Baltimore or DC, however you want to slice.
So when I go West Coast,
right.
But folks, for the people who want to talk education.
Okay.
Okay. So Tommy and I did a hypothetical. let's say we have Wisconsin and they 2 out of conference games.
Mm-hmm.
They crossover games are at USC
Okay.
and at Arizona State.
Okay.
So when I go out there to play 1 week, I stay the next week. And here's where I stay the whole week. Because now we've been doing distance learning. But here's what I do on the education side. We're now going to USC's film school to see, hey, you may be wanting to manage. Hey, we got people here out here on the West Coast that can help you with this. So
learning.
now we starting to, crossover learning because that's what we're in college for. So now I'm meeting and greeting and meeting different people. The alums that I got coming from, from Wisconsin, the alums that I got from Madison that are out there that want to meet me, now we've never seen them because they fly in and they fly out. Now we out there for a whole week. We out there for a whole week practicing, doing whatever. It makes sense.
It makes sense, but Tony, you've got to you're talking about keeping kids, college kids, away from their campus for 2 weeks. Or a week if they're going to do the 2 games out west, or the West Coast teams would come east.
Yeah.
You'd get a Wisconsin, and let's say they would play UVA or Virginia Tech, or something like that.
What have we done? We've done distance learning, so they can do distance learning for that week. The basketball do it all the time, but now we're bringing other things. I'm a film major, and I'm over at Wisconsin. Well, what's the #1 film school in the country? USC. So if I get a chance to go out there to USC, why not take all the film majors that are coming out to watch the game? Why not have them come out and shadow people at USC? Make your contacts.
Well, wait a minute. That would require the academic people to actually get off their butt and come up with ideas.
There you go.
They're used to doing things like you said, the old way. All my kids are right here on campus, and that's all I deal with.
It's a new world. COVID has introduced us ways to do things.
What's that? Yeah. Hey guys, if you like the conversation, definitely hit the subscribe button for us,
hit the
and the
subscribe
like button
on YouTube, folks.
And send us. And if you're watching, send us some comments. Cody is on the comment line. He'll either throw it out here to us on the show, or he'll just answer it right there off of his system. Here on the TD Report, David Combs here, Tony Kennedy, crunching the alliance. The ACC, Big Ten, and Pac-12 alliance is going to stretch from coast to coast, and basically everywhere but the SEC.
From Maine to Miami. And then from DC, from one Washington
DC to Chicago.
From one Washington to another Washington.
To Washington State. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's move into something that interested me. Condolences going out. Travis Etienne of the Jacksonville Jaguars, rookie running back, was expected of him out of Clemson, high draft pick, was at Jacksonville with his college quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, out for the season or most of the season with a foot. What was that, a Lefranc injury, or was it a plantar fasciitis, or he tore something in his foot and is going to be out for what? Lisfranc. Yeah, it was a Lisfranc. So that's a year.
So
that's a season.
He could be back on playoff time.
But they
playoffs.
Come that time, I didn't.
Right.
I'm not making no claim for Jackson.
He's gone for the year because they only got 17 games.
Put him in the bubble wrap.
Yeah, he done.
And just get yourself strong and ready for the. Travis Etienne was one guy I really was expecting to enjoy watching as a rookie.
You know who's really mad about it?
Who's really mad about it?
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence.
All the running backs he can get.
Well, he's got Carlos.
What's quarterback's best friend?
He's got
running back.
James Washington.
He's got James Washington.
So why would you even draft him, Urban Meyer?
To throw him a bone.
And then they was talking about Darrell Bevel's system, the way they doing it. It looks listen, dog, they messed up already. They, like Cody said, they should have never taken a running back because I didn't even know who the Robinson kid was.
James Robinson. He has what was it,
10 touchdowns. He had 10 scores. He had 10 scores.
Touchdowns. He has the most scrimmage yards by an undrafted free agent.
So why would I take a running back first round?
You said the most yards from scrimmage of an undrafted free agent ever. Yeah. Then that means your GM did a good job.
The GM
but then made the mistake on using the draft capital for Travis Etienne.
And it should have been an offensive line.
When that could have been somewhere, hey, you want Travis Etienne? Come on up here. Come on up here and get him. We'll draft him for you. You give us this, and this, and you can have him.
Well, he went the pick right after Najee Harris. So I
Right.
try to like to think that that's who they wanted back there.
They wanted Najee
Okay,
Harris
but
instead.
then when you don't get him, you
ATN
better.
was there.
That's a good GM.
But that
gotta
was
have plan B.
But that was
dog.
there. ATN. What it was is they were going to take Najee Harris, but ATN was there.
And so
They didn't expect him to be
But
there.
they should have.
But I think they might have.
They should have
I think
known
they might have
behind
panicked.
Pittsburgh
I
you
think-
wasn't getting Najee because everybody in the world, we called it
And
early.
it was two
that he
picks.
was-
We called it
also
on-
2 picks before Christian Darrisaw, so there wasn't any really good tackles left. There
Right.
were some good edge rushers left, like
There was a
Rousseau.
lot of it, but there was heavy. But that draft
That
was
whole
heavy on
draft was
edge.
heavy with
It was
that
heavy on edge
and
rushers.
they still got a good edge rusher in the second. And so
Right.
like
So they could have got an edge rusher in the first, and they could have got another lineman in the second.
Correct.
yeah.
They could have picked up an extra lineman.
That's what you.
That's what you should have done. That's probably now.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
In hindsight, yeah.
who said that hindsight is 40-40? Who said that? But no, you're right. No, you guys are absolutely right. From a standpoint of if you're the Jaguars and you're picking there, you knew as the Jaguars, you knew you were getting Trevor Lawrence. You knew that a year ago,
Yep.
right? You knew a year ago.
Yep.
But you were thinking we're going to pick up Najee Harris.
Mhm.
But ATN was there. Do you throw a bone to your you throw a bone to your number 1 pick quarterback and get him a guy he's comfortable handing the ball to, from a guy from Clemson?
See, all
but
that-
at that point, I don't think you do that.
All that doesn't
knowing
matter.
knowing what you
Knowing
know
what
about
you
football, knowing what
What you need? If you
Spitball
telling me they had
thing.
all this on the roster for the running back position,
right.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't need all those running backs. I need edge rushers and I need tackles.
I think this might have been before they signed Carlos Hyde. I can't remember.
It would
when
have
he
been
was signed.
before, but Carlos Hyde. I mean, a guy like Carlos Hyde, he's kind of a journeyman at this point.
He's a guy that's
he's-
coming goal line, get you 2 yards.
He's going to get you. He's. How do I say it? He's McRunning back.
Yeah, he's the
That's
ball-
what he is.
The ball we
He
want.
is a double cheeseburger from McDonald's. Look, it ain't the best double cheeseburger on the market, but for $1.99,
For $1.99, it's
that
all right.
joke will knock down a little hunger for you.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. You can hand him the ball 25 times a game. You're not going to get major production, but you're going to get enough production to keep teams a little bit honest. A little bit.
Has Urban Meyer ever been in the NFL?
As a head coach,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
He ain't never, listen, Urban
He don't-
Meyer is
he-
great for
he don't-
building colleges. He's great for building those teams from Bowling Green to Utah to what? Ohio State.
He
I'ma say-
officially won't play in 2022.
Yeah.
What's that?
He officially
Won't play.
Yeah, he-
I'm gonna say something crazy. I'm gonna say something crazy on the show. Hey guys, hit the subscribe button if you listen to what I'm gonna say here. Urban Meyer ends up coaching in Jacksonville. Coaches in Jacksonville for no more than 2 seasons.
Ooh, that's bold. I think he has a lot of
As
success.
soon as that
How
USC
many seasons he signed for?
5.
I
As
think he
soon
has
as the
success.
USC job opens again, we will see Urban Meyer back in college.
You know why he's gonna be back in college? Because he's gonna get tired of getting that head split.
Exactly.
But that's what's gonna happen.
It's
Jacksonville gonna get that head split.
you think him getting you think he's gonna extend?
I think he's gonna be successful there.
He ain't never been.
I don't think he's going to be
no.
successful as a pro
No,
coach.
me-
I really don't.
Why?
He's some
He
Jesse.
doesn't. I just watched him on the sideline here. He don't look happy.
His,
Well, he's not happy with what his team is performing like.
no, but listen.
Did Nick
his-
say? Listen, this is going to be the next Nick Saban thing because Nick Saban gave you the formula. Okay, do great in college. He was winning national championships in college. You get this shot to be a pro coach. You take it. It doesn't work out, and guess what? You go right back
Yeah.
to college
Plenty of
and
those-
do it the right way this
There's
time.
only one place
There's plenty of those.
that Nick Saban will coach because of his ego. Name the team. Only one team with his ego that he will ever coach
You mean college?
in pros.
Oh, in the pros? Dallas.
Exactly. He fits that ego perfectly.
There's only one problem.
I knew it.
Jerry has a bigger ego than Nick Saban does.
But you know what?
And that
By-
takes and
by
I'm gonna
that
tell you
time-
something. That takes some
By
serious doing.
By that time, Jerry won't be there. It'll be Steven
Steven will open up the Brinks truck.
for
Nick
Nick
Saban.
But I'm not saying he's gonna come there and win. I'm just
No,
saying that's
he
the
would,
ego.
he would take that job.
That dude is listen.
Nick
when
Saban-
you understand brands,
Nick Saban is a
When-
big fiend for action. He wants the number one
Everything.
franchise, the number one
He wants
college.
everything.
That's what he wants.
That's-
I just don't understand why you don't think he'll be successful in Jacksonville.
Oh,
Urban.
no.
Yeah.
I like the quarterback he has. Let me tell you something. I like what I see from Trevor Lawrence so far when he's not running for his life. Okay, he's already had to run for his life more at Jacksonville than he ever had to at Clemson.
But he's just had preseason games. You look Belichick did his first year in Cleveland. I mean,
Correct. Well, Belichick in
ended up
Cleveland.
taking them to the playoffs.
Belichick
and
in
then
Cleveland.
what nobody ever talks about in Cleveland, they don't give Belichick credit. Belichick was the first coach, and on his draft board he was the very first coach of the Baltimore Ravens for a week. Then they fired him, and they got Marchibrola. But guess what he left? He left all of the people, Ozzie, everybody. His whole draft board was Ogden, Ray Lewis, all them.
Yeah.
So when everybody want to talk about Belichick in Cleveland, look what Baltimore ended up doing based upon what Belichick left there.
Hey, shout out
So
to
I'm gonna hear that
shout out to our guy from St. Albans.
You didn't even know he was the first coach, did you?
I'm not discrediting.
You didn't even know he was the first coach, did you?
I didn't.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm not
Shout out to our
discrediting
guy Jonathan Ogden from St. Albans High School in D.C.
Shout out to him.
Jonathan Ogden went what in the draft?
Like
6th
and 7th, and then Ray went
Okay.
like 15th, 16th.
Ogden went 6th, and Chase Young went 2nd.
Yep.
Those are probably the two highest players out of the D.C. area in the draft in the last 30 years. It would have to be, because I don't think anybody from the D.C. area went any higher than 6th.
No,
I don't think higher than 6th. I don't think so.
I don't remember anyone going
No,
that high.
I've seen there have been some first rounders, but
Really?
not top 10.
You know who the highest quarterback was to go in this area?
Who?
Dwayne
Haskins.
Yeah.
This area has never produced quarterbacks.
No, not really.
We've
No.
never produced quarterbacks.
No. Mm-mm.
I was looking at that. I was like, wow.
It's really interesting. You would think that an area like this, but then when you look at somewhere like a Texas, where the run on high school quarterbacks going into college and then college to pro out of Texas the last 15 years has been absolutely disgusting. RG3, Luck, Kyler Murray,
Drew Brees. I mean, you can name.
Isn't Baker Mayfield from Texas?
Yeah, Mayfield.
That's disgusting.
Oh,
I mean, come on.
you know the number one quarterback, Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean,
There's some really great highlights of Pat Mahomes pitching in high school. I think that Joker threw like a 2-hitter or something like that. I mean, the dude,
So-
the state of Texas for quarterbacks, it used to be running backs. Back in the old days, quarterbacks were for handing off to Earl Campbell.
what they gonna
That's
do?
what the quarterback was
What
for.
they gonna do when those Lions come down there for you?
Oh, well, listen, if you are a school like a UCLA, a USC, a West Coast school, where you can say, hey, listen, when we play spring football, it don't even rain here, right? We don't even get rain. We don't get winter, right? You can live here year round and you're going to be working out. That's what we do with our quarterbacks. Oh, okay. That's almost like Texas. You say, except we got blondes. We got cute girls out here too.
Oh,
Come on.
what's gonna happen to Arizona? Arizona State. Do you know how that is?
Arizona State.
You ever been to Arizona, Cody?
Tempe. Forget University of Arizona.
Oh yeah, Arizona State.
I'm talking about Arizona State.
It's off the
Tempe.
chain.
Yeah.
What that's gonna do when they recruiting all the kids out here?
Oh, I can't wait to hear Herm Edwards.
Come
Hello?
on, man.
You play to win the game.
Come on now.
I think he's got a good spot for him to be a successful coach. This is a big year for them though.
Yep.
They got a lot of guys coming back. I think they said 13 starters coming back.
Vernon Davis, top 10 from the area.
Top 10.
Vernon Davis. Oh,
Okay.
what was Sean Merriman?
12. That's why I just said
He wasn't top 10.
He
But
wasn't top-
he was, okay. Sean Merriman, hey man, don't tackle me, please. He was a top 10. He was a top 10.
Frank
talent.
Wycheck was what?
Frank Wycheck was from what? But he's not from high school here. But he went to Maryland.
He went to Maryland.
Maryland.
But we
Vernon
talking
Davis
about high
is there.
school guys from
high
here.
school,
Right.
high school guys from here.
What
Vernon
was
Davis.
Kendall Fuller? You had Kendall
Kendall Fuller was not a top 10.
You had the guy that
Well,
was
which-
from Baltimore, Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin was a
If
top
she went
top 15. He was a top 15 pick, wasn't
Okay.
he? Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
It's like top
I mean, so
15,
you.
top,
I mean,
top
we had,
20. He
You
was
had,
it's like
you
the
know, when
third
you're trying to think about it, but it ain't been that many.
It hasn't been that. It hasn't been that.
Now
many.
basketball, you can name all
No,
that.
the basketball is just come on.
You can name
know,
all
I
that.
mean, we run some
We
talent
run.
up out of here. I think what you're going to see happen, Tony, is you're going to start seeing this NIL, this alliance is going to start pulling some talent here and there away from the SEC, but you are going to start seeing it elevate a lot of kids from from areas like the DC metro area that may not get the type of pub. So can you imagine a Chase Young with the NIL coming out of DeMatha? How much
You
could
know,
he have gotten?
wait. You know the kid who got robbed the most in the NIL? Who would you say, Cody?
Allen Iverson.
No, the all-time NIL rob of anybody in the history of the sport, of both sports, basketball and football.
What? Johnny Football?
Nope.
Who?
Zion.
I was gonna say
Zion is the
I was gonna say Zion,
all-time
but
robbery
Johnny
for the
Football-
NIL.
Johnny Football.
He would have been close,
He
but
would've been close.
Zion
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Duke.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen, Duke. Zion was so good, and I hate Duke. When I went to see them March 29th, 2019 at the Verizon Center, Duke versus Virginia Tech,
That was a great game.
man, I'm telling you
That
right
was
now,
a great game.
he came down on a fast break and caught an alley-oop. It was the first time in Tech history I've never seen this. When he caught the alley-oop and dunked it, everybody was in there clapping. Even the Tech people who were just there, just yelling at him, you had to just stand up and just do like this because it was so unbelievable.
No, that was insane.
I mean, it was.
No, that was
listen,
insane.
it was an insane atmosphere up in there. And dude, imagine him with the NIL deal. Because remember, he comes from the Twitter,
He would've
the
never went to the
Facebook.
league.
We had a mil- well,
oh
he
no,
had
he
a-
would. You're right. He would have. He
He had
wouldn't
a
have
million-
left. He wouldn't have left until somebody really good had the first. Was
Yeah.
in that thing to get
Yeah.
the first picks.
He
wouldn't have left.
had a million. He had a million followers. Was it
Freshman year.
on IG?
Before he went to college.
Before he went to
So
college.
so now so let's
No, he did get robbed.
Let's pump it up
No, he
right
got
here,
robbed.
Cody. Zion had 1 million followers. Now put him in the NIL, where Duke is only in that little triangle. Now Duke is relevant in Los Angeles.
But Duke is always
Duke is
but
relevant.
Duke was relevant
Is
in
he-
Los Angeles even
Yeah, but-
without the NIL, even
without
outside
the
the NIL world.
Duke
But-
is now a household name everywhere.
Yes.
Now, but
And they
imagine,
have been for 20 years.
Imagine
But I mean, it's boosted to the
it would
next
have it would have boosted to another stratosphere.
Now
with him.
how did North Carolina and Duke do it? McDonald's All-Americans.
McDonald's
All-Americans. Those tie-ins with the amount of McDonald's All-Americans that have gone to those schools. McDonald's, we talk on this show a lot about brands. There aren't a lot of brands that get any bigger than NFL, Coca-Cola, McDonald's. You don't get much bigger than that.
No,
They got McDonald's in Istanbul, bro.
Yeah.
They got McDonald's everywhere.
So those are the blue blood.
Those are the
Reggie
blue
Bush.
bloods.
She said Reggie Bush.
Well,
Reggie Bush and-
let's be honest. Reggie Bush basically had an NIL deal when he got to
Yeah,
UCLA.
he already had his NIL deal. That's why you got to give him his Heisman back.
You got to get a
Give
boy
him
his
his
Heisman.
Heisman back.
Hey,
Give
Heisman.
Reggie his Heisman back.
Yo, Heisman committee. I'm looking right in the
Yeah,
camera.
I'm gonna be up
Give
there
our
in
boy
December.
his stuff back.
Give him his Heisman
Give
back.
that man his Heisman back.
I would have mine.
I would have mine. I'd roll up
Well,
there.
I mean, well, you are, but we talking about NIL deals. So let's not forget the first bad boys of college basketball,
Georgetown.
Georgetown. Do you know how much stuff is made because of them? The black stuff, anything that's black, that's not original black, it came from Georgetown.
Pat Ewing.
Nike is built because of Georgetown.
Pat Ewing did so much for not just Georgetown basketball. He practically made the ESPN Big Monday package on ESPN something to buy.
And they built Nike up because when they got, listen, dog, when I tell everybody this, the 83-84 basketball season was the last year that all the top players in the country wore Converse. Michael Jordan wore them in Carolina.
Yes.
Isaiah Thomas
That
wore
was
them in Detroit.
Dean made the money on that one.
Isaiah Thomas in Detroit. Larry Bird.
Indiana.
He was in pro.
But he was wearing Converse in Indiana too.
Yeah, Larry Bird,
Converse.
Magic Johnson.
Converse.
Okay, Kevin McHale.
Converse.
So they had all the top players in Converse. Dr. J, Converse. So what happened after that?
Sonny Vaccaro happened.
Sonny Vaccaro happened, 84, 85. The Air Jordan dropped. Georgetown had their best teams ever. Nike went through the roof.
Nike made them
all
a
that
sick-
black
Nike-
stuff started coming out from Georgetown.
Nike-
Man, it went through the roof.
Nike made, and this would, I believe, the first time, Nike didn't have a signature shoe for a player at Georgetown. They had a signature shoe just for the team.
Just for the team. They had
Nike,
Hoyas in the back.
The Nike Predators.
They had Hoyas
Those
in the
are
back.
the coolest. Those are some of the coolest shoes. If you could get a pair, if your dad or mom could buy you that, but then Georgetown took it to the next level. They made the deal with Starter. And they
Ooh.
came with the Starter jackets.
Ooh.
Now, anybody that's old school,
Ooh.
go back and watch the movie Colors and tell me what jacket you see some of them gangsters wearing. The Bloods was wearing the blue. They was wearing that Georgetown Starter jacket. John Thompson was none too happy that the jacket ended up in that movie. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It was cool to have that Starter jacket.
Oh, that
the
was
the blue Starter jacket with the script Georgetown across was one of the tightest jackets that you could get, and it took the Starter brand to the next level because then Starter started doing things like NBA. They got in when the team started using in the 90s. They would go when the team started going to the alternate jerseys. So a team like the Charlotte Hornets went to the black, and they had the black jacket with the Hornet logo on the back and Hornets on the front. Dude. Those were cold.
It's like the purple and white Raptors with the Raptors.
Oh, the Raptors, yeah. Well, it even spread to hockey. Remember the Los Angeles Kings when they went to the black and white?
But why did the Kings go that way? Because they got Gretzky.
Because they had Gretzky.
And they had a brand.
That was beautiful. But that just shows the synergy between sports and marketing and apparel, that these NIL deals are going to pop. So the next time we see a guy, I'll tell you somebody that got robbed on the NIL deal. I'll go even further back than Zion. Lou Alcindor got robbed.
What?
He got robbed. Yeah, and he was in New York.
Yeah, he got
robbed.
He was in New York and LA.
He went from New York to LA.
And got
now
robbed.
Let's talk about Lou Alcindor's situation. When Lou Alcindor came out of high school, there was no Georgetown. No. In the way that we know it now. There was no Georgetown situation where John Thompson could be a black coach and go say, come on, kid, I played center in the NBA for 10 years backing up, Bill Russell. I can work with you. If the college basketball landscape was the way it is now, Lou Alcindor never makes it off the East Coast.
No.
He ends up, if St. John's is lucky, he stays home and goes to St. John's. Yeah. Or he goes to Syracuse. But I can guarantee you this, God is my witness, Dean Smith would have got that kid.
Yeah,
Dean Smith would have got him. No, I mean, Dean Smith would have got that.
Dean Smith almost lost Phil Ford, right? You know what happened?
What happened?
Phil Ford told Dean Smith, he said, well, Clemson been giving me money. And he said, I got to go there, coach. You know what Dean Smith said to him? He said, did they give you a check or cash? He said, coach, they gave me cash. He said, don't worry about that. Let me good because you can't trace cash. He said, come on here, let me give you more cash. Because come on over here.
What's interesting is what you bring up, Tony, is the point. People always say, don't give college kids money. Let me tell you something. College kids have been getting thousands of dollars for laundry money since Jackie Sherrill figured out, I could give this boy $500. He's just going to send it back to his mama. Why don't I just give his mama $1,000 and tell her to send the boy up to my school? Because that's exactly what these guys have been doing in the SEC, the SEC, the old SWC. They've been doing that for years. Marcus Dupree, come on, y'all. They had college recruiters sleeping in his house. You would get a college coach and tell him, hey, listen, we're recruiting this guy, Marcus Dupree. You're going to go to his hometown. Don't leave until he comes here.
Yep.
You're not allowed to leave. That is your job. Don't worry, we'll send you your check. But your job is make sure this kid comes here.
So,
Lefty Driesell used to say all the time, he says, I love recruiting when the kid has already picked a school. And they said, why? Because now we know who we're going up against. As soon as a kid would pick a school, that's when Lefty started recruiting. Now we know who we got to beat.
Kobe, we forget about the biggest one.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Rest in peace, but we forget about the biggest one.
Who?
The hype person of our generation and your generation, LBJ.
Oh, God. LeBron James.
LBJ would have made... Man, I don't even know if LBJ, he would have been fighting for a 5th year in college because he would have made so much money.
He would have made so much daggone money.
How much money LBJ would have made in college?
Millions.
Ohio State was his school.
Millions.
I know Ohio State real mad about that.
Well, no, he's good to Ohio State. He takes care of them. He throws some money. He's got a locker. He has his own locker.
I want national championships.
You want national championship?
They would have been mad about that.
Look, man, there are so many guys that could have made a lot of money on this NIL. Allen Iverson that I brought up. You look at what he did once he got to the NBA. Changed the whole league. Here's why Allen Iverson changed the whole league. He changed the whole league because he developed that synergy between hip hop and the NBA.
Yes,
that the
he did.
NBA tries to run away from when things don't work out the way that they want. They say they don't like tattoos, they don't like the braids, they didn't like it. But you know what? They like that. They like that check when it came in there.
Yes, it did.
He had kids from coast to coast wearing that jersey. Okay, Sebastian Telfair would have made money.
Kenny Anderson would have made money.
Oh, absolutely.
He was one of the
oh,
top
absolutely.
recruits ever.
Those dudes that really helped set the stage from the 80s and the 90s to what we have now. Those guys with, oh, come on. Larry Johnson coming out of Dallas.
J.R. Reed.
J.R. Reed coming out of the 757.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize how many people live down there? They've been talking for years about potentially putting an NFL team down there.
Yeah.
They have enough players. They have enough bodies.
Yeah, but their market's
But the market's not big enough yet.
Virginia Beach.
The Virginia Beach. They've been talking, but there have been talks about it for years. The Redskins have kind of nibbled at it to make things sweet for them up here. But I don't see, and I'm going to switch topics here on the TD report. I don't see the WFT leaving the DC metro market. I don't think they're leaving.
Heck no. Who leaves the number one market for money?
Let me tell you this: I'm looking at 2 new hires that were hired out of England.
Oh Lord, this is Cody's pet theory. Cody's pet theory. You can hear it here on the TD report. Our own Cody Bennett says that there's a chance that you could see the WFT ending up as a team in London
In the coming years.
in coming years.
Absolutely.
As the NFL goes global,
Absolutely
is what you're saying.
not. I would see them. First of all, you have to understand the WFT is in one of the. You in an area that is recession proof.
It is.
It's recession proof. So when your person start doing numbers on your franchises, this is a franchise that's recession proof because of the federal government. So you know you always gonna get your check. See, that's different. When you start going places like that, you start gambling. We don't know nothing about that government over there. We don't know nothing about this.
2 new hires who are pretty intertwined
Okay.
with PR over there.
All right. Here's what I think you're going to see.
That.
My feeling is
Jacksonville gonna be over there.
yeah, they're gonna
They
say.
love 'em.
Now look, Jacksonville. I could see Jacksonville ending up over there. Any low-performing franchise that hey, we can't win in this town. Once the NFL. Now the NFL pretty much makes money wherever they are, but it's hard to make money in Jacksonville.
I tell you what.
It's hard.
If the Washington football team roll out of here, there will be another franchise moving their stuff
15
in
minutes.
In 10 minutes. They'll be
Paging,
right there waiting for them to leave.
paging Jeff Bezos.
Yeah,
Paging Jeff Bezos.
Bezos.
Well, I'll tell you what.
They'll be
If
right
the
there.
if the WFT vacated this market, the NFL would give Bezos a team in 15 minutes.
15
and they
minutes.
would add another team overseas to combat.
No, they would add a team in Mexico City.
They would put a team in Mexico
Yeah,
City. They'd
Mexico
keep it on the
City.
They'd keep it on the continent.
You
They would
got
keep
to
it on
see
the
where they
continent.
play their games.
Or
Oh,
Canada,
no,
Where they play their
or-
games is
or-
where they will go.
or Toronto.
Or
I could see.
Toronto.
I could
yeah,
see.
no,
a team-
they won't do
Oh,
Toronto
because of
Buffalo.
Argonauts.
Because of Buffalo.
You think they would protect Buffalo?
Buffalo's thinking about even moving to Toronto.
Oh wow,
Yeah, I mean, there's a bigger market.
it's a bigger market.
It's a bigger TV
Can
market.
you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, listen, dude. When this TV money start rolling,
Mm-hmm.
man, people looking for money.
Mm-hmm.
And that TV market equals money.
You know, I love the NFL guys, and I watched something on YouTube.
Do you know how big that market is over there in London?
It's huge.
The London market is huge.
It's
They
huge.
would capture all.
Rabid
you would
fans and
never-
rabid fans.
But
if
they
you
are
but you
rabid
could
fans.
if you could develop a team that's a winner,
Yeah.
The NFL's gonna put a team
they will
over there.
empty their pockets.
They're gonna put a. Jacksonville's been playing a game over there every year for the last
Hey,
12 years.
Hey, listen, Chase Young, you ain't got to worry about eating no fish and
Bye.
chips, bruh. Y'all ain't going nowhere.
Bye.
You-
And-
y'all still gonna be eating half
And
smokes.
let me tell you something. With this alliance, squeezing everything up, they're gonna end up squeezing Jacksonville up out of there because nobody gonna be watching them on TV.
Nobody.
Trevor Lawrence better save that franchise because if they don't win with Trevor Lawrence,
Wow.
their ass is gonna be over in London.
Wow. Can you imagine?
Bye. They speak the same language.
You speak
alright?
the same language. Do you realize how bad the food is in England? The food in England's terrible, and it rains all the time.
Hey, if Houston keep messing up, their ass Jazz is gonna be down in Mexico
Houston.
City.
Dang.
Let them keep messing up.
I forgot about
Houston,
that.
Texas, y'all keep getting rid of y'all people.
It's
Y'all
like
ass gonna be in Mexico
Gordon
City.
Ramsay. Come on, man.
What?
I'm not eating beans and toast.
Hell no,
I ain't doing
eating
that.
crap,
Blood
that
pudding, haggis for breakfast.
All
Nah,
that
bro.
crap over there
They
they
have
eat.
good restaurants out there.
I ain't
And where,
eating that.
London?
Absolutely.
I ain't eating that.
Man, I went over to London when I played with the Cowboys. Man, I was like, man, I can't wait to go. Man, I
You went to
up there.
McDonald's.
First thing I did was I went to McDonald's.
How did I know that?
Hey, listen. So when I get to McDonald's, I get everything. I get my Big Mac. I got my shit situated, and I'm good. So you know how you get your food, and then you need something to like my man said in Pulp Fiction. Can I get something to wash it down?
Oh,
So I went to take a sip of the damn Coke.
what was it?
It was Coke, but it was flattered in this damn floor.
Sodas are gross.
It was
And the reason why they do that, sodas and candy, is because there's a restriction on the high fructose corn syrup.
I don't care
They
about
can't use
crap.
regular sugar?
It
No,
was
you can
nasty.
only use a certain amount. Well, yeah. So I think that's like the
I
so
spit
limited
it out.
sugars that like sugars that they can add.
Oh, I'd be upset.
Yeah,
I-
sugars.
No, we'd be in there fighting.
I listen.
Y'all would find me on YouTube.
Dude, they almost called the people on the beat.
Bruh.
They almost called them people on the beat because I went off in that joint.
Bruh.
Man, I spit that stuff out, man. I was up in there. I want my money back. I
Hey,
can't
listen.
use my damn Big Mac messing with you.
Tony has a segment on the show that we call Jesse James, where he highlights who's been stealing checks. I have a new segment that I'm going to initiate here on the TD Report. I'm going to call this my bruh report. Bruh, what's up with your boy Cam Newton? Bruh, how many times is Bama going to end up getting COVID?
Listen,
You can wash your hands.
Cam Newton,
You go wash your hands.
Lamar Jackson, Kirk Cousins.
So Cam Newton came in contact with a trainer, right?
He did.
Well, he came in,
He's-
but he didn't get no testing.
He's not.
And he just need to get vaccinated. Listen, Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson, Kirk Cousins, you are some selfish son of a you know what. I ain't messing with y'all. Bruh, go get vaccinated.
Bruh.
Jerry came out today and had a quote. He said, what did he say? I forget what he said. He said, you check I at the door and move forward with we.
Jerry
He
Jones.
said, when you start affecting,
Okay,
when your
let's talk
decisions
about
start
that.
affecting everyone else around you for the negative, your opinion no longer is
You know why Jerry said
more
that?
important.
Because what a home game gonna cost the Cowboys?
Yeah, a lot.
A million. A million.
Million.
No, wait a minute.
Million
Oh,
just
wait a minute.
parking.
It's the gate.
The
Don't
gate.
they lose the gate?
You lose the gate, the parking, the concessions,
Ooh.
hotel money. Because Jerry came out after the Super Bowl.
Tony.
Jerry came over after the Super Bowl. He was
Tony.
going around collecting that little cut from the Super Bowl.
Tony
from
sounds.
hotel money.
Tony sounds like Steven from Shanko. What you mean he gonna sleep in the big house?
Yeah,
You won't burn the sheets, burn the bed, burn the whole.
Burn all that. He gonna be in the big house.
So, bruh, what's up with CeeDee Lamb, man? What's he thinking? CeeDee Lamb plus 5 of the Cowboys are in the COVID protocol.
If it were me,
Dak's shoulders got it.
If it
Dak's shoulders hurting.
if
I'm Jerry right now,
if I'm Jerry,
if
I'm
I'm
coming
Jerry,
in. I'm firing everybody.
you said Jerry want to fire everybody.
You damn right.
Jerry can't fire everybody. What Jerry gonna do? He gonna get in there and take the
I
snaps?
got somebody.
Jerry gonna take snaps?
You ain't gonna cost me 10 to 20 million this weekend. No sir.
Hey,
No, sir, we not doing that.
If you're old school,
I don't know where they do that at.
if you're old school and you remember the Smokey and the Bandit movies, Big Earl and Little Earl, that's Dan Snyder and Jerry Jones. That's Big Earl and Little Earl.
I
They got the
don't know where
matching.
they do
They
that
got the
at.
matching powder blue suits with the bolo ties and little hat. Hey man,
You
listen.
want that money.
They want that money.
I-
I ain't mad at Dan Snyder. Listen, he's a good businessman. I'll say that. I don't know how good an owner he is. It looks like he's doing the right things, though. He's doing some great stuff here in D.C., things that he could have done 20 years ago.
Dan Snyder's out of the picture. Tom Snyder was running the show.
That's fine. We all know what's going on with that.
They pillow talking.
Listen.
Oh, yeah, that
Listen.
bullshit.
Listen. You're gonna tell me? I remember. Wait a minute. Didn't Major League Baseball suspend George Steinbrenner and said he couldn't own the Yankees and couldn't do any day to day? Do you really think that George Steinbrenner was going to allow that to happen?
The Clippers out there too.
Well, yeah, they fired him. Yeah,
They fired
They fired. He got fired.
Daniel
No,
Snyder's
it's a
wife.
team.
Daniel Snyder is suspended.
Dog.
Daniel Snyder is only focusing
Excuse,
Yes.
wait.
on the stadium.
Excuse me.
play.
At 10 o'clock
And
tonight,
stepped
when they go to
away.
bed, she gonna be like this, and he gonna be like that.
Look,
and they're gonna be sitting there talking.
Tanya Snyder is
say-
smart. She has a clipboard and she going down all the little notes about what
I
Danny
don't know.
wants.
Look, y'all think. Look, I think Tanya might wear the pants in that situation.
She better.
I think
Somebody
I think
need
Dan
to wear the
Snyder-
pants.
I think Dan Snyder is
Well, listen, she didn't want to marry. She didn't want to marry that dude because he didn't own the team. She want to marry a dude that owns a football team.
She also,
I'll tell you what.
She was well off. Then.
She was well off, but let me tell you something. Women don't marry a dude that has a football team for him to lose the football team.
She's very independent, though.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just
think-
saying in general.
I think
Go
she's
for
running
it.
more than what people are probably giving her credit for.
Listen.
Listen, man.
I'm excited about what's going on with the WFT right now. The Wolf, happy for those guys. Hope they have a good season. I'm pretty sure they will. I think the WFT win at least 11 games.
You smoking some crack.
They go
up
11
in
and
this
6.
joint.
They go 11 and 6.
Yeah,
Hey,
I got 11.
folks, listen to me, and listen to me closely. The WFT has it all going for them.
The views of the
But
hosts
the
do not
problem-
reflect the viewership of the
The
team.
problem is, the most important position on that field is the quarterback. And Fitzmagic is going to end up Fitztragic. You got Heineke Beer Man and you got Allen. You ain't winning 11, 12 games, folks.
They're going to win 11.
Pack it up. You're
They're gonna win
not.
11.
Their schedule is too tough.
11 and
Schedule's not that tough.
Yeah, it is. They got first of all, when they added that extra game, they could have given them a BS team. They gave them who I think might win the AFC. They gave them Buffalo at Buffalo.
Yeah, I gave my.
And then
Well,
you
I
gotta
have
play
that
all
as
those
a
other
no.
ones.
I do have that one as a loss.
I'm gonna give you my first prediction that I put them in.
Here it comes.
Probably the past 15 years, even before.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Cody. What you got?
Bills, Redskins.
Bills, Redskins in the Super Bowl.
Jesus Christ! Now
Okay.
we're living in 1992.
Wow.
Lord have mercy.
Wow. The
It's,
Bills
it's
might.
2022,
Hey, listen. If
not
the Bill-
1992.
Hey, listen.
That shit ain't
Hey,
happening.
listen. The Bills might have a shot to win the championship on that one.
You know what the Bills stand for?
What?
Boy, I love losing Super Bowls.
Oh. Okay. Wow. Y'all terrible, man.
And you know what the Washington football team, WFT, it stands for WTF. What the fuck? That's what y'all gonna say at the end of the season.
So okay? So before we close it out, Cam Newton in the protocol, but he's in the 5-day protocol.
5 days.
So
So basically, that 5 days.
he has to test. He has to test
every
He has to
day.
test negative every day for 5 straight days.
Correct.
So it's basically the incubation period, right?
What the hell are we doing here
But
now?
what is he thinking? Because he's in the midst of a legit challenge from Mac Jones here. Because he can't even be in the facility now, can he?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Not at all.
Oh boy,
Mac Jones started.
They've already said that Mac Jones is taking off first team reps.
Mac Jones.
Plays.
Listen, when they drafted him, we all said the same
It
thing.
wasn't a matter of if; it was more a matter of when.
We were.
So it's kind of like the Delta variant.
Who starts? Who
It's
starts?
not matter if.
Who starts
It's when you gonna catch it.
Who starts the opener? Oops, sorry guys. I think Mac Jones starts the opener. I'll just say it.
How many days away are we from that?
We're about 10 days
10
away.
days away.
14 days.
Cam wouldn't get out of the protocol until 5 days before the season starts, or somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
Mac Jones starts.
The Mac Jones starts.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm cool with it.
Let's
Because
make
here's
let's
my
make it
issue.
easy.
Here's my thing. I was rooting for Cam this year because he got COVID last year,
Yeah.
and I thought he had a chance to have a good season. Right? He comes in this year, picks up COVID again. He's not vaccinated. He made a mistake as far as a misunderstanding of what the protocol was for outside trainers or dealing with outside people or whatever it was.
I can still see Bill starting. You kind of got to follow that money.
No.
And it just-
No.
Here's the starters.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence starts.
I'm 50-50 with the Trey Lance guy because he is on a real good team. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
The third quarterback is what? Wilson. He has to start.
Justin Fields is not going to
Justin
start.
Fields is not starting.
He's not going to start. And I like the
And
idea.
Mac Jones
And by the
will
way,
start.
I like this move by Chicago here.
This move by Chicago tells me that they have a real good team. They made the playoffs last
They
year.
think they might have a shot to make the playoffs again.
Yeah, they
All
made
right.
the playoffs last
Now,
year.
they don't want to end themselves up in the same situation that the Miami Dolphins did. The Bears.
The Bears.
They don't want the Bears don't want to end up one game.
Playoffs.
The Bears don't want to end up one game out of the playoffs because they played the rookie when they should have played the veteran.
They barely made that game.
They barely made that
Because
game.
Arizona lost.
Yeah.
Now, that said, I'm not going to say anything negative about the guy, but Mitch Trubisky didn't look too bad when he was playing for the Bills as a backup.
He looked at
He lit the Bears up.
but he had
he
a
li-
chip on his shoulder.
he-
that
Well,
I don't-
Well, he should have had that
He
chip
should've
on
had
his
the chip on
shoulder
his
when he was playing with the Bears.
What
I
Tony
ain't want to
said.
hear no man.
Come on, man. Tony.
Jesse James.
Jesse James.
And you know who the biggest Jesse ever is? Chase Daniels.
Oh.
He's thrown in 11 years. He's thrown for 1,600 yards.
Guess how much
A
money
Jesse.
Guess how much money he's made.
He made $48 million. Man, you got to be kidding me.
This Joker made $48 million. He ain't never broken a sweat in an NFL game. He literally takes his pads off after game and go meets girls at the bar right after.
Josh Rosen, who's been in the league making money
4
for
years.
the past 4 years.
4
and
years.
But he
thrown
won't be
a
in.
single pass.
He won't be
He
in
hasn't
the
thrown
league,
a
but he
regular
won't be
season
in the.
pass.
He won't be in the league no more. He's
Wait a
no-
minute. Yeah, he has.
Yeah, yes. When he was with Arizona.
When he was with Arizona.
Did he?
Yeah, he
Yes.
did.
Yes.
Yeah, but my
But
point
I'll
is,
tell you what. He
he
played
thrown
enough
for
for them to know that they didn't want him.
he thrown for more than 1,600 yards in 11 years.
I
Easily.
don't know.
Do the math on
Yeah,
that.
math on that. Yeah.
You talking about stealing?
Hey, listen.
Play nowhere.
Who?
Chase Daniels done stole a check.
Oh,
Chase Daniels has
48
been
million?
as a third quarterback.
yeah. I mean,
He was second in the.
He's second in DC for a hot minute, right?
Shit,
I'm just the second and third string quarterbacks. I feel like there are a dime a dozen that's made that amount of
Hey,
money in
listen,
their career.
if you can-
And
if
they
you tell
probably
me-
throw
For
for
11
less.
years?
They probably have thrown
If you
for
tell
less.
me that you can be a left-handed pitcher in in Major League Baseball and stay in Major League Baseball for 10 seasons, you're gonna make a solid 50, 60
That's
million.
good because you
pitch
got
every
one
5
little
days.
job to do.
But you're a
But
relief
this
pitcher.
shit.
Oh dear, that was bad. I mean,
Thank you, Tommy.
Chase-
you
Chase-
brought that out, and I found that out. He's a Jesse.
Chase Daniels stealing checks for over a decade.
Over a decade.
I don't even think Jesse James did it that long. did
No, Jesse, I don't think
he? Jesse James didn't get along for
They ain't get the-
until
they
someone
ain't
shot
get
him in the
along
back.
like that. Yeah.
Someone shot Jesse James in the back.
They sure did.
The show did. I think it was.
Josh McCown, 18th season.
Oh my God, Josh McCown! Come on, man.
Oh,
How much did he make?
Shh. He made.
No, he didn't make 50.
You know who made a lot of money?
Who?
18 seasons though. That's
18
Joe
se-
Flacco have made 170 million.
But at least he started.
170 million. He'd have made more than Brady.
Hey, listen, Joe Flacco made 170 million. You could buy Delaware for that. I'd own Delaware. Get me a couple of beaches. Yeah, man.
Y'all got to be kidding
Y'all
me.
kidding me, man.
These dudes stealing the damn check,
So
and
listen.
everybody else got to go to work. Man, you crazy as hell.
So we're gonna be back on Thursday this week, right?
51 million career earnings.
Oh my God.
Who?
Josh McCown made 51 million?
Career earnings, 51.2.
Oh my God.
And he's
He's throwing for about 10,000 yards.
That's about right.
He,
probably.
That's about right.
I mean, at least he's throwing for yards. 1,600. Cody, we can throw for 1,600 yards tomorrow. I'm serious, man. This is terrible.
It's a passing lead now. I know I can get 1,600. Just throw me a couple of shallow crosses and stop out.
Hey, man, at 50 years old, I can go out there and get in shape and give me. I can give me 1,600 this year with the damn
Be
WFT.
out there like Steaming Willie Beeman.
All I gotta do is just throw it to Gibson a couple of times, a little passing, and I can get 1,600 yards in
Hey,
the
baby.
season.
Hey, baby. Hey, shout out to John Ricker from St. John's High School. The shovel pass. I'll be throwing them shovel passes. Give me that inside zone look. A little shovel pass.
Hey, folks, I wanna. My coach passed away, basketball coach, Coach Cole. I wanna say, appreciate you, brother. You recruited me all the way at Bladensburg Boys Club, and you one of the reasons why I stayed at Bladensburg to play basketball. Even though he left my senior year when we would have won the state. Love him. Coach Cope was from Pittsburgh, big Pittsburgh fan. We always went back and forth from Steelers to Cowboys. And he told me about a month and a half ago, he said, Tony, if I pass away, I'm going to leave you this little thing. It's a little Super Bowl thing where they got Pittsburgh versus Dallas, and it so happened to be Super Bowl 10, my first Super Bowl.
Okay.
So he left me that. Coach, I even talked to Donnie Shell 2 weeks ago about you. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 days ago. Love you, brother. Sad to see. Hey, Coach was old school, born 1943. He came down here, was a teacher, administrator, and then he was a coach, and he retired down in North Carolina, and then he moved to Florida. So Coach Cope coached a bunch of us basketball players for the time that he was there, maybe 10 seasons, made a difference.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear about Coach. Rest in peace. Hey guys, we are going to be back on Thursday, and on Thursday, hey Cody, we're going to have you on, right?
Absolutely.
Cody's going to be putting on his sleepers for
my sleepers and breakout players for
fantasy. So fantasy guys and gals, hit the subscribe button so that you can get the alert for next week. I mean, for later this week, Thursday. Thursday, I've got some other stuff for you. We're going to talk a little high school. Talk some high school. I'm going to try to go see the St. John's Don Bosco. Don Bosco is going to be in town up at St. John's. I'll go check that game out. But we'll talk a little high school ball, a little college, and thanks for joining us. I had a great time. You know, we spent a lot of time on the Alliance. We might need to let's bring that topic up again.
Hey, so we got, I always like to leave you a little bit of fact. We all talk about football and what was developed. You guys know the actual football huddle was developed here in Washington, D.C.
Gallaudet.
Gallaudet because they were what? They were deaf.
School for the deaf.
They were deaf. So, guys, we want to give you a little bit of history. Please go get vaccinated.
Please.
So we can keep our numbers, so we can do. Maryland, we okay. We look like we're going to play. But anything south of Virginia, y'all going to be in trouble.
Bruh.
Please get vaccinated. Bruh.
Hey, man, thanks for joining us on the bruh segment. Because, honestly, the Cam Newton CeeDee Lamb thing, that just doesn't make any sense. Because, honestly, the NFL, and Tony, you've said this many times, the NFL is literally like hitting the lottery. You hit the genetic lottery, but you can only make that money for, if you're lucky, 6-7 years. If you're lucky. Now, guys like the Chase Daniels of the world that can play 11 or 12 years because you never take any hits, I mean, that's great. But you watch an NFL play, a play from scrimmage, I guarantee you virtually every play you're going to see a dude getting up slow. Because somebody got rocked. Because guess what? That's what the sport is. You cannot do that 10 years, 15 years. If you're able to do it, you're lucky. Right? But what's that? There's a few guys that can do it, but most guys, there have been more guys that have been supremely talented that have gotten injured before they could show, hey, I could be in this game for 15 years. They were talented enough, but if your body won't let you.
Body won't let you, dog.
I mean, goodness gracious. You remember Don Mikowski?
No.
Don Mikowski was the quarterback at UVA, the Magic Man. He was the quarterback at UVA before Sean Moore was the quarterback. He was also the quarterback in Green Bay before Brett Favre became quarterback. When Don Mikowski blew out his ankle, he hurt his ankle. And they could never get it quite right. His ankle still isn't right.
Don Mikowski hurt his ankle, and then
Brett Favre took over.
So he's kind of like a Wally Pipp.
Kind of like Wally Pipp.
And
he wasn't doing bad when he got hurt.
You know what Wally Pipp is? Wally Pipp is the guy who played for the New York Yankees, and he said, I was tired one day. Well, you know who replaced him? A guy named Lou Gehrig. And then
Lou Gehrig never came out of nothing.
Wally Pipp said, I ain't tired no more. Yeah, you
are. He said, we don't need you.
You still tired.
That's wild.
Don't be the Wally Pipp.
Don't be Wally Pipp.
Don't be Don Mikowski.
Don't be Don Mikowski. Hey, man, really had a good time tonight. The time really flew on this one. We went a little bit over, so we apologize for that. Get some dinner on the table. Hey, man, we're going to see y'all on Thursday. Appreciate you, Big Tony.
Appreciate you.
Thanks a lot, everybody.